There is so much noise happening in this land. Welcome to my house. There's children that live here and a crazy dog. It doesn't matter because it's Design Sips. Cheers.
Cheers. Let us know if you guys can hear us.
Yeah, let me know. How's the sound? Can you hear me? Or do you only hear my children making a lot of noise above us? You know, after we said, quiet on the set. I mean, welcome to my house. All right. They don't care. They really are. They're over us. Anyway, welcome to Design Sips. I'm Sandra Funk, and we are going to sip on a little wine and talk about the business of interior design. Cheers.
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 We got a new mic today, so tell us what you think of the sound.
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Sound checking live with you on Insta.
With it or just joined.
Yes, hello, hello. Welcome. All right, so we are going to answer all of your questions today. We have, there's been so much going on. Mm-hmm. The Interior Design Standard is officially an international forum of interior designers looking to level up their businesses. Like, we're talking Europe, Asia, like we are going
UK,
worldwide, baby.
Australia, the UAE.
Yes.
All the people.
Oh, yeah, you guys, all over. So, cheers to that, number one.
Yes. What's everyone drinking?
Comment if you're drinking. Even if it's a seltzer, we need to know what's happening out there in your hands. What else? We also announced our scholarships yesterday. Mm-hmm. So, I am so pleased to welcome all of the scholarship recipients and to thank everyone. We had amazing, amazing submissions. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being just out there, paying attention, joining this community to increase your business efficiency, joy, respect, value, all of it. It's so much to see you investing in your business to rise to greatness. So I welcome you with open arms to our community, and I can't wait to get started. We're so close.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So our doors close to the standard on September 28th, and then content drops on September 30th. So now, if you're already inside the standard, we are getting to know one another on the private Facebook group. Please, if you're in the group already go ahead and drop a video, an image, a link out to your website. There's all the noises. Like, all the noises are happening today. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but somebody's making a smoothie in my house. But go ahead and introduce yourself on our private Facebook group because that community is just getting to know one another. So, yeah, definitely ask us to be admitted if you've joined the standard and get in there and introduce yourself because we can't wait to get to know you, your business, your personality, the trials and tribulations that you're going through so that we can work together to all make it better together.
Yes, we have a ton of designers joining us right now, a ton of people who applied for the scholarship. Thank you. It was such a hard decision.
So tough.
But we really encourage you to join the community either this fall by Monday or next spring too. We're going to be open.
Yep, definitely. We're going to be back around every 6 months or so. Just really trying to create a community that goes through this program together so that we have each other to support one another and, kind of be benchmarking where we are with the program and trials and tribulations and all of the things. So it's so good. All right. Do you have some questions that I know you had a few questions come in, Sarah? What do you got?
Yes. And so I want to answer Miriam's question. She's here live with us. She asks, on which program does the standard work? Asana or any specific program?
Yes. And I believe it's LearnDash is the technical program,
yes.
technical platform.
Yes.
So that's like what you'll be logging into. And it's a format that really gives you a login. It walks with you through the whole program, so it knows where you are. You can kind of mark something complete or come back to it. All the content is yours for the life of the product. So you can always go back and rewatch something. You can have reference to all those materials all the time. And then from here on out, you always have that login to go back to the community, to the resources. So every single time we launch the standard, we bring the latest and greatest to it. Additional bonuses, additional reference material, additional FAQs. So every time that we launch, you get a little upgrade as well. So our class that went through last time is getting their, here's the, cheat sheet of what's been updated so that we're not making you go comb through the whole thing again. It's really clear where to go find those upgrades and those little content additions editions. So it's a lifetime product, and it's really joining a community as well as kind of downloading that business template into your business. All the things.
Yes, all the things.
All right, so then we also, all the programs that we use Asana for our task management, but we have designers who have completed the program and use Basecamp, Trello, Sheets, Monday, like whatever it is that you're using that allows you to create tasks, repeatable tasks, assignable tasks, anything that you can use like that will work for this program. We use Asana, so that's what we are delivering it in, but you can take it, download it, and copy it to whatever you want if you're committed to your own program that you're already using. In addition, we use Designer Advantage, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work on Ivy, Mydoma, Studio Webware, Design Manager. All the platforms can handle it. Again, this is the process behind the design. It's not the individual items inside of those tasks. So it's the bigger picture, but it's also down to every individual item as well. But we made it very intentional that it would work across any of those platforms.
And you don't, she asked, do you need Mydoma? No, you don't need Mydoma, but we should always suggest that designers having a design software.
Yes, we will recommend to you that you have a design software. Do you want to maybe give a little heads up that we're filming? We recommend that you have a design software, that you have a task management software. We love to use Wacora for sourcing, and if you haven't heard of Wacora before, go check it out. You're going to love it. Free. You can do a free trial on that. And then we also like to use Canva, design files, some mood board creator, photo, Illustrator, whatever, Photoshop, Illustrator, so that you can create mood boards. It's a big part of the concept behind our designs is we present whole rooms, not individual items, and so we want to see everything be put onto a mood board.
Yes, so today we also said we'll be answering all business questions. So we have some great questions coming in. So no, you don't have to just ask standard related questions. So Sandra, I have a couple questions for you.
Sure.
First, from Harper Harris Design. Hello.
Hello.
What should I be looking for in my very first hire? I know it's time.
Ooh, I love that you know it's time. That's obviously the first question is, when do I know it's time? You've got that down. Awesome. So what to look for in your first hire? I really like to sit down and go through your task list and what's on your plate and what it is that you keep kicking down the road, right? Or you're not doing it all. Maybe you're not systematizing your marketing, or you're not reviewing your financials weekly. You're not doing something on a consistent basis that you should be. So look at your whole task, everything that you're doing currently. And then the things that excite you, the things that you lose yourself in because you're so thrilled to be doing, and the things that you literally eye roll, can't stand, would rather not. Those things that you'd rather not, or that you procrastinate, are the things that you should offload first to a new hire. So if you are super creative and you love working with the clients one-on-one, your first hire is not another designer, right? Your first hire is getting you out of the weeds of financials or marketing or whatever that looks like, so that you can spend more time face-to-face with your clients or in the design world. Conversely, if you love running the numbers and you love doing the social media, then maybe you do need a designer that can help you with those initial round of selections or putting together mood boards and doing that initial shop, CAD, etc. So you need to look at where your heart lies, and then balance out your kind of the things that you do best, your superpowers. You're going to balance them out with that first hire. Then when you start to get into second, third, fourth hire, you're going to start to build out a business structure. You're going to be looking at yourself as the CEO, a lead designer, an assistant or intern designer to support, all the running around, filing in the library, all of that. You're going to be looking into probably an admin, someone to help with all the business systems, interface with an accountant, handle some marketing, help you out with some HR docs and figuring out how that works. And then we can kind of scale from there.
Yes, Harper says makes so much sense.
Awesome. Cool.
Okay, cool. So another business question, and if you're just hopping on today, we're talking about anything you want to talk about.
Yeah, this is an open forum. Any questions you want to ask, design related, business of design related, we're here for you. We're just sipping and designing. That's what we do.
Okay, so happyhomes.co says, after an initial discovery call, how long would you wait to follow up, as you were expecting the potential client to send photos of their space before quoting the project for them? ?
Okay, so I like to run like a really tight potential client process. So what we do is we collect as much information as we can really quickly up front in that initial intake call. Often we'll get a link to the property via, Zillow, Realtor.com, something like that, or some images from the client if they're already living in the property, as well as an outline floor plan of what the scope is that we're working on. And then I like to present my proposal in person when I'm meeting with that client for the first time. They've already been vetted by my team. I have enough information to put a proposal together, and then I can walk through that proposal with them in person. In person means on Zoom these days for me, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm driving all over town to different potential client meetings. So that efficiency and that little switch up in the last half of a year has been good, because it means I can meet with more potential clients and I can move that system through with more efficiency as well. So I love to sit down and go through that with them in person as much as I can. You have to say the scope and what it takes. You really have to educate the client on what the process of interior design looks like. It is not a small thing to take an idea all the way through to a finished room. We know that. So many layers, so many things to do, especially if there's any construction going on, a renovation of any kind, or if you're building from scratch. It's not a small thing. So educate your client on exactly what it's going to take, and then follow that up with the numbers that are commensurate with that level of work and effort on your part. And then welcome them to join you in your business.
We happen to have the whole potential client process in the standard too.
Right. Soup to nuts, the whole thing. And we have a great example of that education process that I do with my clients, which is our demo module. So you can check that out right now. It's at interiordesignstandard.com. And the demo module is how I explain to my clients in the potential client process the value that we bring to a project.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. Check it.
So we're getting a lot of great questions. Someone asked something not totally business related. Toby wants to know, do you smoke weed? But we'll just pass that one.
I drink rosé?
Yes.
On Wednesdays.
Okay, Lenore has a great question. Shipping and delivery. Do you include these costs in the client product line items so they are one number? Let's start with that. She has some other ones too.
Okay, great. I don't. I break out freight as one number. So I include in freight, inbound freight, CFAs being overnighted if that's the case, warehousing, receiving, inspection, the insurance that goes with that, and then in-house white glove delivery. To me, that's all freight. That's all getting it from wherever it was constructed to their home. And so that's all one number. I put that number together up front on my proposal. So I'm not just collecting 100% of my product, I'm collecting 100% of freight and tax as well, so that I am completely ready to roll and I never end a project with an invoice. I hate the taste in my mouth that leaves when a relationship wraps up with a big balance due, and we all know how much freight adds up. The number of times back in the day before I started doing it this way that I heard the words nickel and diming, which are like a knife to the heart of an interior designer. The last thing we're doing when we're sending them freight bills is nickel and diming them. We're asking to be reimbursed for something that's the cost of doing business. But flipping the switch and putting that in the proposal in the beginning is giving them full transparency. It's giving them a full knowledge of what this item is going to cost, not just the product, but getting it all the way to the house. The only reason I don't build that number in is because I know that when people have like a benchmark of what furniture costs, they are looking at, starts at from the catalogs they receive in the mail, right? So if they skip that restoration hardware catalog, they show this gorgeous sectional starting at. Well, that starting at price is like the bare bones unupgraded cushion, the bare bones canvas, essentially muslin, for like fabric on it, and it doesn't include any of the freight and tax to get it into the home, which is very hefty. So we're constantly fighting the battle of what things cost in our world. So I'm not going to jam up that price any further with the freight and tax, but I outline them separately, and I absolutely stand behind those numbers. I've been tracking my financial data on what interior design costs for 15 years now, and I can say with full confidence that it costs what it costs. And I've got the data to back that up, and that's why we're able to put a percentage in right from the get-go.
Yes, and so she also asked, how do you figure out the full cost, actual cost of shipping and delivery, or a percentage to cover shipping and delivery?
Yep.
And we just created actually a brand new resource, our freight guidelines for the standard, which is super exciting.
Yeah, so we just, again, enough freight questions came through in the first round that we decided we wanted to add another resource. So there's like it's a great guide, and it helps our designers. It walks them through step by step how to calculate their percentage of freight that they need to be charging, what it should be based on, if it's net or retail, and what that number should be, and how they can go to their bookkeeper, or if they're digging through their own data, how they can go and figure out that number, and then they can benchmark. Every time they close a project, they need to go back through and audit and make sure that that number is accurate. And so that's the level of detail that we brought to the standard, is like all that, like not just the concept of adding freight in the beginning, but exactly how to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's all inside the standard.
Yep. EKL Interiors wants to know, how do you find a receiving and delivery service for furnishings?
So the best way to find sources in the interior design world is to have a community of interior designers around the world that you can chat with and work with. So for instance, when I get a job out of town, I don't just start like cold Googling. I start putting out feelers with designers that I know in the area where I'm about to start working, saying, hey, do you have a good receiver that you trust in the area that you could recommend? Do you have a good painter that you trust that you could recommend, et cetera, et cetera. So I love those amazing Facebook groups that have designers, kind of getting together in that. And of course, inside the standard, we have our group, and we're totally helping each other with that kind of stuff, because more and more, especially with as virtual as everyone is able to run their businesses now, design is happening all over the country from designers all over the country. So I love that we are so able to work wherever, and you can bring your style to clients everywhere.
Yes, Simone is sharing lots of hearts. Hi, Simone. She's
Hi,
a new
Simone.
member of the standard. Welcome, welcome.
So excited to have you. Okay,
so, and someone was asking for the link to the Facebook group, but it's actually for only if you have enrolled.
So it's standard members. It's their private community. And the idea behind that is that we all support each other as we're going through the standard, but also once you've implemented the standard in your business, you can now speak about your business apples to apples. So you can say to someone, are there any other Atlanta designers out there? A, what receiver do you use? B, where do you tend to source your furniture from? And C, what is your freight percentage? Because I'm coming up with a number and it feels a little off. Can I benchmark that against yours, what you're coming up with? And that's the kind of conversations that are going on inside the standard private Facebook group. We're all speaking about our businesses apples to apples for the very first time. So even if you have a community of designers that you hang out with and talk with, do they charge the same hourly rate? Do they charge the same flat fee metric? Do they understand like your markup concepts and margins and like what your targets are? I hear this all the time inside of the other Facebook groups I'm in. What should I charge? What should I bid for this project? It's XYZ square feet and it needs this scope. And the 45 questions that follow, well, do you make money on product or not? Do you specify this or not? Do you charge hourly? Do you charge separate for procurement? Like the follow-up questions that ping back and forth before anyone feels comfortable giving an answer, we just do it so differently that it's hard to even have a conversation that's helpful with your peers. So it's an added benefit of the standard is you have this group of people that are all talking the same language and can really help each other at that level.
Yes, definitely.
Love it.
Okay, I Heart Brand Studio wants to know, do you do digital marketing?
Digital marketing? Oh yeah, of course we do. Yes. So inside the standard, you will see so many templates, tricks, and tips on how to reach your audience. All of those, anything that we do that is repeatable and standardized in our business is provided for you inside the standard. So you'll be able to download those processes and make them your own. So always in the standard, we never give you a PDF that you then have to sit down and start typing in yourself. I did not want this to be labor intensive. I wanted this to be download and go. That's the plan.
It's the best.
It's the way.
Okay, and if you're just joining, we're answering all your design questions or standard related questions.
Yeah, business of interior design. Throw them out there. Happy to help.
Okay, we have another good question. Anthem Collective. Curious what project management system you use and that you have found is most useful for everything. Software program is what I'm referring to.
Yep. So I have done trials on every program I could get my hands on. I used one system for a very long time, but went through a really rough upgrade, and it just my data got really messed up. And so I started a quest to find a new program. I ended up finding Designer Link, which dovetails with Designer Advantage. So Designer Link is a very simple, straightforward project management software, but dovetailed with Designer Advantage, their accounting, bookkeeping, procurement side, they handle freight, they handle purchase orders, they handle expediting open orders, and they handle all of my accounting. They are crazy responsive. Whatever I like to look at my financial reports every single week, no problem. They provide me with an email once a week that just has everything that I need to see, like kind of this like dashboard that we've created. Of course, it's in the standard for you to create too. And they're taking so much off my plate as far as procurement, order tracking, freight. So they're getting things from when I order it all the way to my receiver without me having any drama involvement in that. So like I'm not getting invoices anymore from the trucking companies. I'm not trying to track down and hound those trucking companies to try to figure out where in the world my sofa went. I know you know what I'm talking about if you've been in business for any length of time. So to have that outsourced and dovetailed in with the software, that was a win-win for me.
Yes, and today we got a question. Do you discuss in the standard how you track freight charges or any of your spreadsheets that keep a project organized in terms of furniture order, tracked receives, and if a fabric is delayed, what's your process in the system? Is the standard just emails and sequence of projects, not actual processes?
No, it's the meat and potatoes. Like it's down to the spreadsheets and the pipeline docs, and it is email templates on even just everything you would need to do to communicate. I'm a person who, if I've written an email once and I think I'll ever use it again, I throw it into a template and I save it in Asana so that I can find it again. Name it carefully so you can put your hands on it again. I would love to have you, I don't even know how to say it enough. I'd love to have you speak to someone who's been through the standard and have them give you that insight on like the level that we get into the nitty gritty. It's down to like those expediting spreadsheets and like how that whole thing works. And, for us, it's like use your project management system as much as you can in that capacity. When you have a program, use it. But it's about tracking everything. And I say all the time, what we track increases. So staying on your vendors to keep on the follow-up, staying on your financials to see that they're growing, staying on your social media numbers and metrics to see what's working, what's not working, and to see it growing. Those kind of repeatable tasks that, and then things, the other side of the repeatable tasks is like the things internally that help your team click and go. Weekly touch bases, HR touch bases monthly, daily time set aside to talk to the team if you're virtual, or even if you're not virtual, to keep yourself from being interrupted all day long, right? Like just having a window of time set aside. So it's these concepts that come from 20 years in this industry, 15 years in business. But I think the root of where it comes from for me and how it's been put together is my start as a business major with a finance degree and going all the way back to being a business process consultant. So I was really trained in Accenture at the time. I was working for a big consulting firm, and we went away and did 6 weeks of intense training on what it looks like to look at a business and to see inefficiencies and to increase their efficiency. Efficiency equals profit, right? So if we can take the process and make it more streamlined, more efficient, more clear, we can be more profitable. When we run around in circles and we duplicate tasks and we do the inefficient, what happens next, or like the I'm so overwhelmed I can't take the next step feelings, that's inefficient. So that way of thinking, I really credit to my business process start. the way of looking at everything that we do in a systematic and efficient way. And that's what we bring to the table that felt completely wacko to just keep in one tiny little design firm instead of sharing with the industry. So we didn't want to be wacko.
No.
Cheers.
Abundant giving.
Yes, exactly. I'd like to see this whole industry get more respected, designers rise all day long.
Yes. Okay, so a question we got in our DMs was, how do we fight the internet pricing and ordering?
Yes. So you fight it by working with the trade only vendors. Now those are harder and harder to find. For their survival, they've had to go retail, right? And I get that. I'd rather see my vendors survive than close. So I get that. But here's what we do to make it different. We design rooms, not individual item selection. Okay, so I'm not picking out a sofa, a table, some chairs, a chandelier. I am creating an environment for you. So it's in the way that you talk about it to your clients that really makes it clear to them that this is the service you're providing. It's a holistic vision for the space. I also contractually outline that if I am working with you, you are purchasing through me. This is my livelihood. My business is based on both my flat design fee and all purchasing and execution going through our firm. What that means, it's very clear. Did you hear how that rolls off the tongue? Write it down, memorize it, because you need to set your standards with your client from the very beginning. When you outline that relationship and you define it before they even sign up with you, they are in awareness that this is an important part of your business model, that your survival as a small business, your survival as an entrepreneur is based on them playing by the rules in your business, right? That's what we talk about when we say stand in your space. You decide if you charge hourly or a flat fee. You decide how many revisions come within that. You decide the cadence of this project and how much time design takes. No client can decide these things for you. You also need to educate your client on how much design costs. They can't possibly know more about what design costs than you do. You've done it over and over and over again. They've done it maybe a couple of times, right? So you need to bring that clarity and that communication to the project so that you can outline that frankly and honestly with full transparency, and then they decide if they want to play in your sandbox or they want to keep on walking and go find someone else to play with. That's what it means to stand in your space, and that's what it means to be in integrity in your business, in my opinion.
Such a good answer. Cheers.
That's what I got. Cheers. Are you guys having any fun today? It's like, I can't believe it's already Wednesday. Is time warping faster and faster? Because I can't even.
Yes.
Right?
There's a ton of designers here. Over 30 people. Hello, hello.
Hello, my designer people. So good to see you.
Okay.
Love having you all here.
Our next question, how do you charge for travel and overnight stays?
So if the job is going to involve travel and overnight stays, because my process is so clearly defined, I know exactly how many times I want to be in person with a client in presentation mode when I'm in that design phase. So I'm going to do my research, figure out what my costs are related to coming into town, and I'm going to build that into my flat fee. You can do it as a separate line item if you prefer, or you can just build that right in. In addition, I'm going to have, if it's a renovation or a build, I'm going to want to be on site on a regular basis. Outline that ahead. When we're doing renovations of 100-year-old homes in the greater New York area, we like to be on site once a week. Now, if you're doing a build with a reputable builder that you can trust and that uses something amazing like Builder Trend, where you can be communicating and getting photos and updates live all the time, maybe once a month is what you need to be on site. Maybe every 3 months until you get to the end where it gets to where it's every week, because you're in the trim phase and the details, right? Details. So if you have a clear process and you have an understanding of what that process looks like and you have a timeline of a job, you can figure this out ahead. You can then go to your, Priceline.com or whatever the heck you use to figure that out, and you can get your average price of the flights. You can figure out what hotel you want to stay in, build it in all day long, right? They came to you. You obviously have something so special that they can't even find in their current market that they need you to come and be their designer. So go ahead and build that into your flat fee up front. Be compensated for it, and then be confident that you can be present just as much as you need to be because you set those terms.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We're all about confidence here.
Yeah, confidence. You have to have some to be in business.
And if you don't, Sandra is such a good motivational gal to have in your corner, and she does a lot of that in the standard and design tips.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's all about. Like, I've had some amazing mentors and people that just pushed me to suck it up, buttercup. You put your name on the door, now you have to go show up and you have to deliver. And tough love is my kind of love.
So we have another great question. If you are doing a whole home from start, build to finish, do you ever charge a square foot price?
Of course. Yes. So our flat fee model is based on square feet. It's really about understanding your numbers, understanding your metrics, understanding the scope of work, and scaling it appropriately.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. If you're just joining.
Yes, welcome. I'm Sandra Funk. This is Design Sips, and we are drinking a little rosé on a Wednesday afternoon, and we are talking about the business of interior design. So please comment your questions. I'd love to hear from you.
So, people might wonder, what you're doing is pretty unique as a successful designer, sharing all that you know. Some people might wonder, why are you sharing everything that you know with your competitors? Because local people can buy this too. What do you have to say to someone like that?
So it's so funny because when I was first developing the standard, 3 years ago we started working on this, my father and my husband were both like, I don't get it. You're going to do what? You're going to take all of what you've figured out to run an efficient and profitable interior design business and you're just going to give it away? You're going to like enable all of your competition to like run a business as efficient and as streamlined and as clear as you do. Won't that hurt your business? And my answer has always been, there's just enough for everyone. There's plenty of interior design work out there. I see capturing the right potential client as finding a fit, right? Like finding our match, because we have a look, we have a tone, we have a personality, and you may or may not like us. You may or may not like the look that we produce or the way that I speak or whatever that is. So every person is going to find the designer that's right for them. And I just don't think that we're all out there like cutthroat competition. Like I see our industry as like my comrades, not my competitors. And so I think it's that belief in abundance that allows us to share.
Yes. Amen.
Yeah, thank you. And it's so great. In talking to so many people, the submissions for the Interior Design Standard scholarship, that word I can never remember. The submissions for the scholarship, over and over again, we heard, I've been listening to Design Sips, I take notes, I've been implementing your tips and tricks through Design Sips over the years, and, and I want to get in on the standard, et cetera, but for me it was like, oh my gosh, there's people taking notes, because we have been trying to provide that value completely free, completely open. Like we show up week after week, ask us anything, we're going to give you what we can, live in a chit chat like this. The standard was all about deepening that, right? Like it's detailed. It's a 14-page contract. It's a flat fee calculator that takes like, some analysis of your own data, which we walk you through step by step, but like that's not something we're going to do on a drinking show. I mean, I like my numbers, but that's a little crazy. So the standard really came from the need for more, and it was not a small endeavor to put together. It is super detailed and super thorough, and I can't wait for you to see it on September 30th.
Yes, guys, it
so
closes for enrollment on the 28th, so get in there while you can.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting a lot of hearts, a lot of absolutely agree.
Oh, awesome. Thanks,
Tammy,
guys.
I love what Tammy says. She says, also, I love the way you view the business. Would be great if all designers could see the value in sharing and growing together as an industry.
I think we're headed that way, though, don't you think, Tammy? Like, I feel like I go to High Point, and now there's these like little tours where you get to know, you meet one new designer from across the country, and there's groups and talks, and I do feel like our industry is cracking open, and that we're more in touch with each other, and we're more collaborative than ever. My long-term vision, I'm a big futurist, I'm a big like where this is going person. Like my long-term vision is that we are a collaborative kind of like crew of designers that can all work together on projects. So say one of us signs like an incredible project, but it's like meaty for the size of our firm, to be able to say to other designers that work in a similar way and understand how your business works, hey, I need help. Does anybody have extra capacity and want to come on? We'll do some sort of profit split or, commission share, whatever. Figure out how to do that and share workloads across, because I know we are feast or famine, right? Like crazy signing people right after school goes back, or right, I know for us, we always sign new clients when school is back in session at the end of the summer, and we always sign new clients in January when everyone's put away their Christmas decorations and their house is looking extra sad compared to when it's all twinkly and sparkly, right?
Yeah.
Those are the 2 times we tend to sign clients. So we do have this kind of like big, this big rush, and then those projects dwindle down and get wrapped up depending on their size and scope, and then we get another one, and it just sort of, it's feast and famine, and it's just the rhythm of it. And I'm used to it because we've been in business for so long, but man, is that scary in the beginning, right? So I love the idea of a more flexible, collaborative workforce that all supports one another. And when you're coming up in design, you should work with someone who's amazing. You should work with a mentor. You should be learning from someone and garnering this is how I would do it. I don't like how that's done. I'm going to do it differently than that. Like all those things are so important to see how it works. So I just think that that's a cool, I don't know, that's the future, I think.
Yeah, no, she says she loves that, or cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
And she thinks we are slowly evolving as a designer group, and I see it too.
And I think we have to. We've been forced to. Like I said, we design holistic rooms. We outline really clearly with our clients my livelihood. Like I put groceries on my table based on you purchasing through me. If you want to do your own purchasing, we are not a fit, right? Now there might be a time when I say, okay, it's a spec home or it's a new build, and I'm going to just get you in. I'm going to do all your installed furnishings, and I'm going to blah, 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 blah. Like, maybe there's times when I decide I'm going to make my flat fee appropriate to know I'm not getting any sales with this job. But it's about having that frank conversation up front and pricing it accordingly for you to survive, right? That you aren't surprised by the fact that your client has decided not to purchase, because that's not how it works when they work with you. And it's in my contract. You are purchasing through House of Funk if you're doing this project together. We outline what they're going to invest in the project from the first design agreement. We outline that they are not privy to my net prices. We outline that I sell at a reasonable retail price, that any discount that I get is because I have long-term relationships with vendors and trades, that I have volume discounts that are mine because I've put in the work and the effort and built a company that allows for that. That is not my clients, that is mine. Now, what I bring to them, incredible design, incredible project management, top level communication, right? I am offering a service, I'm really clear on what that is, and then I price it for the benefit that my client gets a gorgeous home executed in an efficient and timely manner, on budget, on time, and I get a profitable and joyful business. So it has to work for everyone, otherwise what's the point? It is so much work.
Yep, you are getting a lot of hearts and
Yay. Cheers, people.
all that. Tammy has a great question. Hi, do you have a business model that is set for all projects, or do you have different models?
So we do online design, which is one process. We do full service interior design, which is one process. Most of our interior design involves some level of renovation because I live in a part of the country that has 100-plus-year-old homes and not a lot of land to build on. So my interior design process allows for a renovation, right? So it's just natural for me to do a layout meeting and to like set the tone and then, adjust the budget if we've added a big addition or something. Like, that's all wrapped up in the process. And then one of the things that we're working on, and we have found still works within the standard, is more of our build module that is like really more scaled to getting all the rough plumbing decisions, then the rough electrical decisions, and like that scope. And we certainly do that as well. But the interior design standard, we have heard from so many interior designers that do build renovation that they are just as assisted by the program than if it was the whole build renovate module. But we are working on kind of outlining those specific modules as well. I think just to give a little bit more clarity on the steps, because we kind of have them set, but we don't have them set for you yet. Because again, taking our internal processes and making them applicable across the entire country and the world means really looking at them holistically and high level, and it was not a small task to do to make it palatable and easy to understand for designers everywhere. Is it making any sense?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Lenore asks, I want to niche to historical homes and aging builder communities. It has been said not to put both on my homepage, but to create a second page for the builder communities. Any thoughts?
Okay, so we all know the more you niche, the better, right? It's not to say that the other people won't hire you, but the more that you can be specific about who is your ideal client, the more that when they show up on your page, they'll see themselves, right? So I think if you have a niche, you should express it. If you have two separate niches that don't, you need to speak to each individual potential client, right? So if your ideal client avatar is a builder and a builder and a homeowner, you should have maybe two separate landing pages that help you speak to them and their pain points and the things that they need from you specifically.
Yes, just put yourself in either shoes and say to yourself, are you confused when you go to your website?
Yes.
If so, you have your answer.
Exactly. And I do love really specific landing pages. Like we have
one for designers.
Yeah, we have a different conversation going with designers than we do with homeowners, obviously. We have a different conversation going with online design clients than we do with full service clients. So the copy's a little bit different, the pace and the tone's a little bit different, and it's important to kind of identify that and work with your web developer on that.
Yes. Okay, Corinne has a great question. She says, do you ever have clients that already started and designed renovation and just brought you in for trade furniture procurement and install? How do you price?
When they've already done their renovation and you're just doing a decorative, so then I would just do, to go back inside the standard, you'll see that you're not only pricing per square foot, but you're pricing it to the scope level. So it might be design only, which would be like the furnishings level. Partial furnishings if you're working with some existing furnishings in the project, or it could be the build renovate module level of service. And so all of those will have different metrics that will let you calculate your flat fee in like 5 minutes. And we'll set those metrics together inside the standard, where we really go back to your data and we figure out exactly what those numbers should be for you, so that you can confidently, consistently price projects for joy and efficiency, like in 5 minutes. No problem.
We have Taylor Johnson Interiors joining us. Hi, Taylor. Taylor went through the standard.
Yes.
And she is happy to talk to y'all.
Yeah. Okay. So Taylor, obviously you guys can all see her handle. So DM Taylor if you need help with the nitty gritty conversations, the what's really in there and what did it really do for your business. Because I always joke, it took me 15 years to put together the ultimate template of things. So it's really speaking to a designer who's been through it and who understands how long did it take to implement, what did it touch on, how did it change your business. I think that's a great conversation.
Yes, and Claudia Leah Design joined, and she is a brand new member of the standard for fall.
Welcome. So excited to have you here.
Yes. Okay. That was a lot. Good job, Sandra.
That's a lot of things. Cheers.
just take a little break. Guys, if you're just joining, ask any questions you have about anything, and Sandra will answer. She even got asked if she smokes weed.
Yeah, I know. You just kind of glossed right over that one. Mm-hmm. You kept it going. I could
tell it wasn't
CBD oil is a good thing.
A designer. It wasn't a designer. It was a guest that we don't typically have. He looked like a DJ.
Maybe. Like a DJ, huh?
Yeah, he had DJ vibes.
Oh, did you guys? No? Okay. I love that there was a guest with DJ vibes.
Yes, Claudia says, hi there. Our team is super excited.
So am I. Oh, guys, did you know that the standard is not just for you? It's for you and your entire team. I strongly encourage you to go through it with the people that will have to execute it. I strongly encourage you to use it as the first line of defense of training a new hire. You can simply say to them, this is the framework that our business is based on. Go ahead and go through the standard while we're getting your HR docs set up, we're getting your payroll set up, we're figuring out blah, blah, blah. Like, it's a wonderful way to let them kind of ease into the environment, get to know some of the team members before you throw them to the wolves, aka clients, and have them off and running in a project. But to have them see the framework and see the big picture of where you're going with your firm, it is an incredible tool to train. We've used it, and it was like, I mean, I can't even explain to you. I was stunned at how much the team that we trained on the standard got up and running. So,
yes, it was amazing.
Good stuff.
Lenore has a follow-up question, but Lenore, DM us and Sandra will answer that directly, just because we can answer more clearly in our DMs.
She's not asking about weed again, is she?
No. But yes, okay. Lenore, please just DM us and we'll get back to you.
Awesome. Yeah. And if you have specific questions and more detailed follow-ups, I love being able to hook you up with a designer who's completed the program, because I really think that they're the best advocate to explain it to you. I mean, I can tell you what I know, right? But they can tell you what it did for their business.
So we have a great question. Does the standard work for designers outside the USA? What with the laws being different?
Yes, absolutely. So we have a great, I think I popped on and answered this one recently. Maybe you can, I don't know, go see it in our IGTV, right? Don't we have an international, I answered this on...
one of them, but I can't say specifically.
Which one?
IGTV.
IGTV, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
So go back to IGTV. I definitely spent some time talking through this, but basically, you're fine. The standard is the interior design process. It's what takes the concept, the wish list from a client, what they want their home to look like and be, right? Their dreams and wishes about their home. It takes you from that to a finished space that you can photograph. And it doesn't get in the weeds about local laws and codes. It's the process of interior design, right? So it's not talking about fire codes or, standard heights of countertops. It's talking about providing an incredible, efficient, effective, joyful service. It's all the communication standards. It's the business structure behind it. It's the pricing model. All of that. It's the meat and potatoes all the way across that. Because again, our codes and our local laws are constantly changing. So we wanted to build a framework where we're getting all on the same page as far as the structure of our businesses, not down in the weeds into local laws and that kind of thing. So we worked with our lawyer as well as beta testers to make sure that we were working on a program that does work across all of this and that isn't specific to one specific area. And we can tell you from having done it with designers in the standard all across the United States, and again, we have varied laws across our country alone, as well as in Canada last time, and this time going forward, we are going worldwide. So we have given them the confidence via talking to people that have done the standard, etc., that it is a business catapult no matter what jurisdiction you're under.
Yes, and she's actually from London, and we have another person who is registered from London too. So Definitely come on in, and we'd love to know your perspective too.
Yeah, and we had a designer from UAE last time, again, Canada, so we've been in that world, and it's never been a problem. And again, for our country, California is the strictest when it comes to things, and so we've had many designers out of California, and we are able to absolutely work across all those jurisdictions.
Yes, and Sandra and I are available too while you are in the standard for questions. So we will work with you to figure it out, to change your process together. We
had a designer take the contract to their lawyer, and the lawyer had a few follow-up questions, and it's no problem. That's the whole point, that we put together a program that stands on its own, but then we provide intense customer service. We provide monthly Zoom calls, or I think we're 3 Zoom calls scheduled, and then we've typically added a few just to stay in touch. And then this private Facebook group that really becomes a forum for questions and conversations over and over again. And then, of course, you have our direct email addresses. Any of you who just recently joined may have gotten the congratulations email where you saw my email's right there. You are in direct contact with us to be raising together. We are in it to see this entire industry rise up. So you have our ear, you have our attention. Again, we've answered the lawyers' questions when they wanted to clarify something in our contract, and we're happy to do it. We're happy to see everyone's perspective just coming and raising up.
Yeah, and team members reaching out we have busy executives joining our standard. So sometimes we're hearing from their assistants, which is absolutely fine. Yeah. Okay, great question. So another question, what would you recommend to a designer that will soon start working independently?
Ooh. So we have a few of those experiences in the standard. We have one comes to mind that was changing from a corporate career into interior design, following her passion, as I did, and literally bought the standard because she knew she wanted to put a framework together that was proven, and she was coming from another career, so she didn't want to go start on the bottom. She didn't want to go be somebody's intern. She wanted to come out swinging. She wanted to start her own firm, but she's smart enough to know that she needed to tap those resources, right? She needs to go get a business structure that is proven. And even if she went back to design school, night school, etc., that's not what's in there. That's not in those programs, right? You all know, if you went to design school, you know that they're not teaching you business structure. They are lovely, and I enjoyed my time on my artistic bench at Parsons in the basement, some of my favorite memories of just creativity and growth, but it wasn't about business models in the interior design colleges and in the schooling. So this is absolutely, if you're going out on your own and you want to start on a platform that is built for success, proven, where I've already fallen on my face and made all the mistakes and corrected them, and have a business structure that is completely supportive and really loved by designers and clients alike. And what could be better than that?
We have the Furniture Center. She says, I love that you are first a business and finance mind. I think that alone will bring all the value to the standard that I am looking for.
Awesome.
So this is Stacy. We've been emailing, and I think she's on the fence. Come to the side, Stacy.
Come to the, I'm not going to call it the dark side, it's the light side. What did one of our
the inner circle of light.
I know, one of our standard members from the first round.
I think it's Taylor.
Is it Taylor?
Or
Jen.
Okay.
I think it's Jen Fuller, right?
Jen O'Brien.
Other person. I think Jen O'Brien called us. I'm so thrilled to be in the circle of light. So come, join the circle of light. We are literally transforming businesses. You are already amazing. You already do incredible interior design. You already know who you are. You know your clients. They know you. Now, what if the back end got magically tightened up and became more profitable? What does that business look like now for you? I think it's probably pretty good. We've had some incredible feedback.
Okay, we have HF Interiors. I have a small design business as a standard right for a smaller business.
Oh, yes. So, I started as a one-woman show in my basement. Somehow I've ended up back in my basement. Thank you, COVID. So I started as a one-woman show, and I just bootstrapped this whole thing. So I just opened my first checking account with my first client deposit check. I mean, we're talking grassroots, just one foot after another, slowly and steadily. So these principles, I mean, we worked so hard to make this structure about how to get from A to B in interior design in a beautiful business model, and not specific for this size firm or that size firm. Not specific to this task management software or that task management software. Not specific to what country that you live in. Not specific to what project management software you use. Like, our concept was to stay completely in the structure and not get tied to any one thing. Our industry is the wild freaking West. Not only does everyone do the structure of their business different, but everyone uses different software and different models and different... The whole thing is scrambled eggs. Like, we are all over the place. So with creating the standard, we knew we needed to create something that crossed all of that and that didn't get in the weeds with any one thing. And so we definitely had some opportunities to go like deep into one thing or another, and we were tempted, but it was more important to us to service the entire industry and not get involved in negotiating with one player or another. So we are a neutral party. We will share with you who we use. It feels transparent. I can tell you straight out, from betas on, when we beta tested this thing in the beginning, from design sips starting in 2016, designers were not willing to let me not tell them what we use for our different, who do we use for this, who do we use for that. So we just decided that question is going to come up day in and day out. Let's just answer it and be transparent about it and be upfront about it. And it will evolve. I am not tied to any one system. If a better system comes up, I will evolve. If, a better whatever, that's the whole point, right? Is that we do a ton of research. We do a ton of trials on all of these different systems. We've had meetings with big people in most of these programs. We will always give you, what we decided to do, why we decided to do it. You don't have to do that. You do you, and certainly if you have something that's working for you, don't undo what's working. But there's principles.
For a sec. One more time. There's principles. Because your phone went low battery.
Oh, sorry.
So there's principles in the standard that everyone can apply.
Correct. Oh, was that rant just gone?
No, just
sometimes
the end.
I rant
just
and it
the
goes.
End.
Right. So there's principles and concepts that are completely intentionally meant to work across all of softwares and locations and sizes of firm. We really wanted to get something that could be the standard in our industry, right? Like, so we didn't want it to be for designers 5 to 10 years or for firms of, this size or all of that. We wanted to really keep it open.
Nice.
Yes.
Thrive Simone wants to know if we can see Sarah.
Hi, Simone.
Smiley face, please.
Ooh, jump on.
Guys, this is my debut on the SIPs.
Not your debut, is
No,
it?
I think so.
Welcome.
Hello. I'm in my
She's
really nice outfit.
She's the best. So any of you so give me a heart if you've read Rocket Fuel. Have you read Rocket Fuel? No? Yes? Or the E-Myth. I can't remember the rest of the name of that book. Anyway, there's so many great business books that talk about the innovator and the integrator, right?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. You're looking at the innovator integrator, like
yes,
crazy ideas, and then just gets shit done. So
That-
if you don't have one, go find one.
Yes, go find an integrator and an innovator.
And an innovator.
You guys are the innovators.
Yeah, I think designers are naturally innovators, right? Right? More ideas than you can possibly execute. That's an innovator.
Yes. Okay. Oh, someone says The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. Thank you.
Thank you. E-Myth. Yes. And E-Myth Revisited. I think there's like a second one. But
I gotta read that.
Yeah. Also, I was just talking to Candy Scott of Mood Design in Chicago. Dear friend. Such a love. Google her. Her website is insane. Anyway, she was telling me, you gotta read Rocket Fuel. Like, Rocket Fuel, Rocket Fuel, Rocket Fuel. And I started listening to the Audible and I was like, that's Sandra and Sarah. Simply.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's awesome. Such good stuff.
Okay, it's been an hour, and we're about to get kicked off Instagram because they only let us do an hour. Guys, September 28th.
Yeah, you guys, the countdown is on. Monday, September 28th is the last day to enroll for the standard. If you are at all wavering, reach out to us. We would love to put you in touch with one of the designers who's completed the standard. They have graciously made themselves available because they too believe that every designer in our industry should level up and run a more efficient and a more beautiful business. So please, if you need more information, if you have more detailed questions, if you just want to talk about what does it look like to implement, reach out to us. We will connect you with a designer that can walk you through it step by step.
Thanks, y'all.
Peace.